All right, so what we're going to be working through today, Pixie cut. We're going to cut with the Evo Razor Pro, which is this tool right here. Nice cool purple tone. So I designed this tool to fit really nice in your hand. You can see right here. So it kind of has a scissor feel to it. It's made out of zinc alloy. So it's got a nice weight to it as well. So we're going to use this tool. The sectioning, pretty simple. Horseshoe section on the top, split straight down the center. We're going to cut the top last. And then I'm going to start by working on the side of the head right here. One of the keys when cutting with the razor is just to make sure you got a nice saturation on the hair. If they have coarser hair, it's also good to use a little bit of product or a little bit of conditioner just to soften the cuticle a little bit. A lot of people get nervous about a razor and cutting with the razor, but as long as you prepare the hair the correct way, you use a nice fresh blade, which you guys saw me do. It's nice and sharp, just as sharp as the scissors, so you don't have to worry about any damage to the hair. So I'll take my first section. We're going to work diagonal back. And the thing I like about working with a razor is that it's a lot more like drawing on the hair than with a scissor. Scissors a lot more geometry. You got to hold the hair. You're not really painting in the angle that you want. You're more holding it out, cutting it, knowing how it's going to fall. So the thing I like about the razor the most is that it gives you a very soft effect on the hair because it's almost like point cutting every section. And I'm going to work just a nice back and forth motion on the hair and cut my line. You need to cut too much at once. Just like that. That'll fall nice and soft. I'm going to comb my old section into my new section. You can see that line through. I'll work through it. I'm just going to continue working back through the head. You can see already a nice soft fall to the hair. I'll grab a little bit of section 2, bring it over to section 3. I'm looking at that guideline that comes through the hair. Just like that. And we're going to follow through. Continue that line all the way into the back of the head. I'm going to comb this hair straight out, but I'm just going to work with my finger facing down because now I worked through here. I could continue back just like this, but I just get more comfortable shifting my finger angle. So we're working our way through the back here. One of the key things that I think about as I'm working through and around the round of the head is that I don't want to come up over top of the crown. So when you look at the head from the side profile, the crown I want to build a little bit of weight up on. So when you look at this here, as I come around, I don't go up here, up high on the hair. I drop everything. Everything comes down to about this angle here. So when you look at the head shape, we're at about a 0 degree angle at this point. If 90 is coming straight out of the head, we're holding this at about a 0. So I want to start really building up weight in that crown. And I might go a little heavier with the back and forth movement. And what that'll do is give me a lighter feel to the cut line. So now what I'll do is I'll move to the next side. I'll cut through and then we'll connect everything together on the opposite. Now we're working around that crown area again. In that crown area, it's important to make sure that we keep that elevation low. Coming through here. Now, instead of elevating up, go a little bit longer stroke with the razor. And this really starts to connect the two sides together because I can see my guideline in the back as I'm coming around. So as I grab this hair from over here, I can see my connection point on this side. And we're going to do dry detail work on this as well. So I'll show you guys that towards the end. All right, now we're going to work the top. In the top two sections here, the horseshoe section split in half. So we'll let down one side. We're going to cut into that. I'm going to use the FSE Precision Elite scissor. And I want some of this to kind of flow into the back. So I let down this section. You can see there's a lot more length on the top hair, but I want to see how it naturally wants to fall. I want to leave a little length into the front, but I want it to blend into the back. I don't want it to be disconnected. So what I'll do is I'll take diagonal back partings and I'll work to elevate. And because I want to stick with the theme of more of a textured feel, I'm going to go with point cutting. So here, but I also want to stick to the theme of keeping the crown with a little bit of weight into it. So I'll just point cut my line here like that. And that'll give me a weighted crown, but blended. Same thing, diagonal back. I'm going to over direct this back to the previous. Diagonal back. Now we're going back to the previous. This isn't a stationary guide, it's traveling. So I'm not going to go all the way back to the first section. So you can see how it starts to get a little bit longer because of that over direction. I like to have quite a bit of movement in my haircuts. Soften these lines because it allows the hair, especially with people that have all different hair types and textures, you want to have that kind of movement, that extra length. So you can see how it gets a little bit longer towards the front. We can always leave it like that or cut into it in the dry cut. All right, we're gonna do the same thing on the opposite side. But you can see the front, how it looks, got some nice texture to it. The left side, again, we're gonna do the same thing. Here, diagonal back. And then last little bit, you recommend this cut for very curly hair. I guess it depends on what very curly hair means. Definitely on a nice wavy hair client, this is a great haircut. Lots of texture, a lot of airiness to it. And this is just a little elevated point cutting. So before we were bringing the hair over here, which leaves a little heaviness from not elevating it all the way up. I don't want to cut my line all the way up here, but I don't mind elevating it and just removing just a tad bit of weight on the ends and just soften it. So I'm not trying to create a new line, just softening. So this is the line. So right here, our line is over here. When I elevate this up, see how it goes from short to long? I don't want that to go away. If that goes away, then I change my line. So I'm just softening in to remove a little bit of that weight. Another great tool from the FSE tool collection here. This is the Tri-Razor, which will be back in stock this month, which is exciting. But this is a great tool for creating texture and taking out any kind of weight. So just for some detail work, what the Tri-Razor is, it has 3 different cutting sides. So you got the 100% cutting side here. So that cuts 100% of the hair like a traditional razor. Then you've got the 25% side, and you've got a 50% side over here. So this is our patented razor cutting tool. So if I want to take out just a little bit of bulk, go in, just pinch, add a little bit. Just want to remove a little bit of weight off this bottom. Still want it to be fringy, but I kind of want it to collapse a little bit. And then if you really want to pop some texture in curlier hair, one fun trick with this is to take your section, clip this away here, and then just come across, take a horizontal section, and then take either the 25% or the 50% part of the Tri-Razor. See if I can zoom in a little more. Just like that. And then you take, let's say 25%. I'm gonna hold it weird just so you guys can see. Just come in here and just pop that 25% of the hair out. And that just gives it even more air and more movement. And you can do that all the way through a section, especially, like I said, if they have thicker hair. We'll cut into that more possibly when it's dry. I need to learn how to place weight where I want it and to remove it where I don't. So I think one analogy for me, and I know this still looks a little crazy, but we're working on it. One analogy for me for removing weight, placing it somewhere that I want it, taking it away from where I didn't want it. Anytime, you got to think about when you're cutting hair, anytime that you cut a section, you're automatically removing weight from that section and it's going somewhere else. So I always think about cutting hair and weight as like squeegeeing a window. A lot of us have done that. You run a squeegee over a part of the window, it removes the water from that area, but it pushes it somewhere else. So anytime I'm cutting hair, that's kind of how I think about it. I'm cutting it, it's removing it, but then it's pushing it somewhere else, and that other area is going to have weight. So let's say I'm working horizontally. If I cut this hair right here, now all of a sudden the weight is up above it. So then I go here, I cut it, and I just keep moving that weight until I drop it off where I want it to go. A great way to do this is using a traveling guide. Traveling guide continues to remove weight until you make it a stationary guide. Then that weight will then push from that point on. So traveling guide can carry weight, or can carry that weight removal as you move through a panel. And then as soon as you move into stationary, that's when that weight starts to take off and leave the area that you didn't want it. So if you want to remove weight, traveling guide. If you want to push weight, stationary guide. Hopefully that helps. All right, so I'm gonna do some point cutting in this to lighten it up even more. I'm going to use, this is the Hybrid Elite scissor. This is our dry cutting scissor. It has dry cutting all the way up until the tip. So it will slide and glide through the hair, and then the tip, it will actually fully cut the section. The reason for that, if I want to point cut, like I grab this section up, and now I want to point cut and soften this line, I can use the tip of the dry cutting scissor to actually cut fully on the hair. Or I can slide through the hair and create more of a slide effect, or a lighter effect on the section. Let me go here. If I come in here with the Hybrid Elite, it just slides right through the hair, and it's a great dry cutting scissor. It will not cut blunt lines. Also, fun fact, we haven't put any product in this haircut yet. So this is just the haircut doing its thing on its own. That's how you know you've put in a good shape that you're looking for, because a product should just enhance the shape of a haircut, not create the shape of a haircut. Do the same thing on this side. This one's not falling as heavy. This is our new scissor, the Dual Elite. We do have this in stock right now. Dual Elite. Obviously the latest one we made, and the latest one's always going to be kind of the favorite because you're making new things and you're adding new stuff to them. But look at this scissor. We always try to add something a little different than you would normally see. So the dual teeth isn't really, I mean, there's other dual teeth scissors, but this one is 30%. It shows you, but 30% from here to here, and it has an 8% cutting tip. What the 8% cutting tip is great for, obviously for just little details if you don't want to take out a ton of hair, but obviously think about also your fades. When you're cutting a fade and you want to just kind of detail around that fade just to blend it a little bit more. So this is a pretty solid scissor if you are a barber out there. The dual means that you can flip it. You can have a reverse teeth or regular teeth. Also, I always put these like little, I like a more comfortable shorter tang because I like to flip my scissors back into my hand, palm them. So it just makes that a little bit easier. But I go blade down, that's how I prefer, and just come in here and cut. So you get 30% if you go deeper into the texture scissor. And then you get 8% if you just want to detail around the edges. So it takes out a lot less hair. You can get a little more detailed with it. If you felt like the hair wasn't blending, felt a little bit heavy through here, you can always come right in and just soften it just like that. Now, 8% isn't going to leave any kind of dents or weird things in the hair, so you don't have to worry about that. All right, now we'll add a little bit of product. You can do a little bit of hairspray, maybe a little bit. Can you think of a client you put this cut on? Glad you guys like it. I also want to share with you guys before I leave the FSE AI app. It's the new FSE AI app. You can download. This is kind of, you've seen it first. Download on the App Store. Has all of our latest content. Whoops. But also, so all the latest content, videos. You can search by category. This AI button, first of its kind. Press the AI button and you can ask it anything. You could say, how do I cut a shag haircut? So then it'll process.
To cut a shag haircut, focus on creating layers and texture throughout the hair. Start by sectioning the hair and cutting shorter layers at the top and around the crown to add volume. The sides and back should be left longer, with a gradual transition to create a soft, blended look.
Not only does it give you the answer, but it also gives you a video that goes along with it. So really cool tool to be able to use in the salon. Check out FSE AI. There's also a community page where you can post any questions that you have on a forum. You create a profile. It's a really cool app. So FSE AI, and you can find it on the internet, fseai.app.app. So you can go click on it there. But go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you to everyone that did tune in and watch today. I appreciate you all. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right. See ya.